everybody? It's Omar. It is April 25th, 7:20 p.m. and I wanted to make a video building my watch list for tomorrow. Today, I've been active on Twitter, been able to, provide you with some plays. We'll go through the list. Yesterday I told you guys, and I'll try to make this informative, that I told you that here's my watch list for tomorrow. Not sure is my number one play, most likely Cat and FCX to short a resistance rejection. I'll see what's going on pre-market. Watch BSTC for a nice dip buy, play off support to move higher, right? So let's look at those three real quick. All right, FCX, right? Now, why do I put stocks like these on my watch list? Let me pull up the big chart. What I usually do is I run a scan, and I'll show you in a second. I just look literally for the biggest percentage losers, right? With the premises, if the stock goes from $19 to $15, right, that it's in a downward trend. Now let's pull up the daily chart, okay? You can't expect when a stock's had 4 red days. I mean, it's been on this crazy downward trend. You can't expect when a stock has one big day, red day like this, that it's gonna get it all back. What happens is, and you can do, I showed you a video previously about the first short into the first day after the red day. But in theory, you can apply that concept to any stock that's been down over several days. It really doesn't matter. To a certain extent. Now, if I pull up the chart, all you looking to do is really short into a rejection of a resistance level. So, right, this is where it bottomed yesterday, and it closed somewhere here, and then pre-market today, you could see it kind of, it was kind of moving, and it was kind of falling off. And if you notice right here, right, this would be a resistance level, right? Because it like bottomed like right in here. You see how I consolidated right here in this 1594 area? So, right, I didn't map it here, but I did on my E-Trade. So all I basically did was just watch to see how it would react to this 1594 level. And sure enough, when the market opened, and let me do the 1 minute chart. Make it easier for you guys to see, is that when the market opened, you can see that, right, you get this quick spike. Look at this tail, the bears are winning, and sure enough, you just get all this selling pressure in your tanks, and you just go short based off one of these. That's it. That's all it is. Now, had it spiked, right, when the market opened, then I'm looking to see how it reacts to a resistance level above. So 1594, then 1626. Now this is where the clear consolidation is. That's why I'm looking at, that's why I map these. If you notice, these are clear areas of consolidation. That's why I'm mapping them. But in theory, it doesn't, the stock doesn't have to get that high. Let's say like the next to me area of clear consolidation really is 1607 right here. I mean, I didn't map it, but I'm watching to see how it would react to this. And then the next level, 1626. It doesn't have to get that high. Maybe it gets to 1614 and rejects it. I'm watching to see all those levels to see how the stock reacts, so I could potentially go short, or you can go long. So look what happens here. The stock, the level below, all right, 1594 is this 1561 level, which was the low, right? Look what happens with the stock. The stock briefly breaks below it, and then it breaks above it. Now, in theory, you could have said, hey, you know what? I'm seeing a trend reversal happening, right? I'm seeing, now if I look at, this is my E-Trade account. Now, you're looking at the buyers and sellers, and if you see the bids start going up and the asks start dropping in price, then you know that the momentum's shifting, all right? And in theory, for the guys who buy, because not everybody's a short seller, you could dip board it, risking that level. Either once you saw the 1550 level and you saw the higher low form here, or you could have said, hey, I know that 1561 was yesterday's low. That's a clear indicator that if it breaks above it and holds it, I could take it long. And you could take it long. Now, a lot of people also ask me, how do I know? Well, nobody really knows. I mean, in theory, what I like to see happen is I like to see a candle break above the resistance level, all right, this was support. Now it comes resistance. So in theory, I would have felt comfortable buying in this candle. Okay, because when this candle closed, it was still below the resistance point, if that makes sense. All right, I need to see it hold above it and see the volume bar coming in, okay, and watching level 2. That's how I know. I would have been weary because I would have been looking at this to see, okay, here is a lot of resistance. How is it going to respond to 1566? But you see it clearly blew past it and just kept going up, and then it formed this flag, and then it gapped up, and then it got rejected by the simple 200 moving average. But let's look at my theory. So, right, so now you're looking for another level to short of. So your price target should be the next resistance level, which is 1594. Remember, all I'm doing is mapping clear areas of consolidation. All right, and look what happens when it gets above that 1594 level. It can't hold it. See, it breaks below it, breaks above, forms a lower high, and then this is the 300 simple moving average. So this is the 200 simple moving average, and you see it just bounces off this for a second, but then it just collapses again. That's what happens, because you can't expect for the stock, I mean, it happens, but rarely, that it's just gonna go all the way up and break through all this resistance and go all the way back and fill the gap like that. It happens, but you can't always expect it. But let's say it did. Let's say it did. You know, at some point, it's gonna get rejected into. Oops, let me zoom out. It's gonna get rejected into one of these resistance points and pull back, and you can just short risk it off one of those and just take a quick profit. Like let's say it would have got rejected at 1660, and it retested 1626. What's that? That's like 40 cents. Now it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you are, you know, you're a guy with a couple, you know, who could size in 3,000 shares. Let's say 3,000 shares at 40 cents that's $1,200, just like that. You know, so you know, once you get your account grows and you get to a point where you can, you know, you get that 4-to-1 leverage, and you got, you know, you're over the PDT rule like I am. You can take, you know, you can buy a stock that's like this and get like 4,000 shares, 5,000 shares, 6,000 shares. That's how these guys with the big accounts make their money. They're not trading 500 shares, 100 shares. They're trading on average 5,000 shares and up. All right, that's how you make the money, you know, and you just got to be confident in your system. That's how that works. All right. Next up, CAT, same thing, same premise. Okay. If a stock goes from $161 to $143, it's not going to get all the way back up to $161. Okay? It's going to run for a bit, and then it's going to get rejected somewhere. You know? It may not get all the way back down, keep trending down. But you take a short risking off one of those rejections. And if you notice, look at CAT. And I posted this on Twitter, that once it broke below this 143.36, you could have taken it short. Now, this doesn't seem like a lot, but if we look at this, from 143.36 to 142.68, that's significant. I mean, it got back up, but it couldn't hold this, and it broke below it, and then it got to 142.16. You know, then it found its support and then went on this tear. Now, this is what I'm talking about. So let's say you're like, all right, I'm gonna apply Omar's strategy, but I don't care to short sell. I just wanna buy breaks above resistance levels that become support. So in theory, you could have went long here, 143.36, and you could have rolled this up, you know, with your next price target being the next resistance level, which is 145. It's almost 2 points right there. All right, that's actually 2 points right there. So, you know, you could have been, say, here, and I'm just gonna get out here. And the reason why I mapped these the way I did is because, look, I'm just looking at areas of consolidation. All right, so, you know, right down here, up here, you see these are just areas of consolidation, you know, right here. So, you know, I'm just looking for areas where it consolidates, and I'm just mapping support and resistance lines based off those areas of consolidation. See, some consolidation here, and there was some consolidation here, and you know, this you know, some here. That's why I'm mapping these out. See, nice clear consolidation to see how it reacts to those levels. That's all I'm doing, guys. You do not need a lot of people use, talk about using RSI and MACD and all this shit. I'll be honest with you, I'm not even looking at Fibonacci much anymore, to be quite honest. And I don't, on my E-Trade account, I can't use it. I don't know how to use it. It's, it's not as simple to set up as you do with Thinkorswim, so I don't even bother looking at it anymore, But Fibonacci is great, but, I don't sweat it, So, so let's say you would have rolled this up, and let's say, look what happens, guys. Look what happens when it gets above 146.41. It gaps up, breaks down, holds this, gaps up, and it can't hold it the second time when it tested it, and it broke down below, and gapped up, and look, and now it's really acting as resistance, and you could have took this short. You could have took this short, and all you got to do with Thinkorswim, if you're lucky enough to have the charting available to you, just set those alerts so it reminds you. You don't even have to watch it all day. You just set the alerts. And that way you don't even pay attention to it until it hits your alert. You get a message in the message box. But that's what I'm doing, guys. And look what happens at 146.11. The rest of the day, look at this. It couldn't break it. It couldn't break it. 146. I'm sorry, 41. Couldn't break it. This is. Remember, I didn't get a chance to look at this. To mess with this chart because I was at work. This is what I set yesterday. I didn't create a video, but I think, what did I do? Did I do like 5 minutes? Sometimes, I'll use a 5-minute time frame to map my support and resistance levels. It just depends to see. I'm just trying to figure out how I got 140. Oh, right here. This is how I got the 146.41 right here. That's why on the 5-minute time frame I saw this consolidation, so I mapped it. And you see, it acted like as a clear level of resistance. All right. Support and resistance, that's all it is, guys. You could have kept, this was in this channel, you could have kept shorting this, covering, shorting again. I've done that, I'm just, and this same strategy doesn't matter where either it's a dog shit penny stock or high price stock. All stocks move based off support and resistance, all right? So I just wanted to recap that. And then this, and then I gave you another one, OGEN, all right? I saw this pre-market. So what happens is I have this scanner here that I use, and I caught OGEN, so I have this pre-market scan, and OGEN popped up on my pre-market scanner. As soon as I saw it moving pre-market, all I simply did was, all right, I grabbed the stock, okay, let's see. I looked at the stock, and then I said, okay, let me see. So this is what I do immediately. I'll show you what I do. I immediately go, as soon as I see a stock moving, I pull up the 1-year chart. I go 1 year. Okay, I go, okay, where's the current price of the stock, right? And then what I do is, in relation to the current price of the stock, I just I just see, okay, where's the overhead resistance? And then that's all I basically did, was it OGEN? I think it was maybe it was a different stock. Was it? Yeah, it was OGEN. Yeah, it was almost at $2 today. That's right. So, and I said map $2 and 210. So when I saw that, I said, okay, where's the next overhead resistance? So when I looked, I saw there was some overhead resistance right here, this 210 level. That's why I said at this 210 level, and there was some overhead resistance at the time here at this 195 level. So when I posted this, that's why I got the 149 to 209 area. What I meant to say was 210. That's where I got that range from. And because it was spiking fast, usually what happens, that means is that bag holders are trying to cover because they were underwater, and when the stock spiked, they're like, oh shit, and I can get out my position and make my money back. And that's all that was. And you see, if you notice, when the market opened, right? I put this before the market opened. As you can see, it started, I put this it was like right around here when I wrote that. And then it got up there for a second. And then look what happened. It starts forming lower highs. And that's telling you that, it's sort of like lights out for the stock. And sure enough, the stock tanked. And sure enough, look at that. That's the 300 simple moving average right there. And look, it tanked all day. That's all I'm doing, guys. It's not rocket science. That's all I literally do. That's how I caught H&R Block. And HRB, HRB was another stock that I caught too. I just literally caught it moving, and I literally caught the top. I showed you guys. You know, I was being sarcastic. Guys, I don't really have a chat room. A lot of you guys keep asking me that, and I don't know how you cannot see that I'm being sarcastic when I wrote this, when I write this stuff. But HRB, I caught it right at the top at that moment. Now, the reason why is because I saw it in my high day scan. So I switch, you know, I switch this when the market opens from that scan to this regular scan. And then, you know, when I caught it, it was at that 20, it was like right in this level here, right in this level actually. Let me zoom in. See, yeah, this is not as good as Thinkorswim charting. I struggle with this, but I'm getting a lot better, like navigating it. And basically, all I did at this moment was go to 1 year, and I said, okay, where's the stock in relation to that? Let me just undo all this. So at that point, it wasn't at 28 yet. I think it was at 20. What was it? I can't remember. It was at 27. It wasn't at 28. So I go, okay, so it's close to 28. So I'm starting looking. All right, where's the overhead resistance? So I'm looking, and I see overhead resistance here, and then I see some overhead resistance right here. And then I saw, you know, I was like zooming out, and I caught some. I forget. It was right around this 28.90 area. That's what made me. And I have to play around with it, but it's a pain in the ass. With Thinkorswim, it's so much easier. I can just look at my let me pull up Thinkorswim. Sorry, with Thinkorswim, let me just pull up HRB, and I'll get to the watch list in a second. I'm just reviewing all this because I get a lot of questions of how am I doing all this. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So with Thinkorswim, it's so much easier because let me just remove all this. Clear. Yeah, with Thinkorswim it's so much easier because I can just literally have all this stuff up and catch it. And this is why right around here, this is where I caught it. Like right around this level, I had saw and I saw it on E-Trade because I didn't have access to this. But it's 27.92. I saw that there was a top here, 27.91, and that's why I was comfortable shorting right into this level. That's when I said I'm gonna short it right now, and sure enough, the thing went down all the way to 27.71, found support, and then it just ran. I mean, it just fucking ran. It just blew by everything. Now, what's interesting? Let me pull up the 1 year on this. So, right, it topped out at 28.65. Now, why did it top out at 28.65? Let's look at the chart history. All right, let me pull up a 1 year in the daily. So as you see it gapping up, you want to look to see, okay, where's the next resistance point? So you tap this 28.43, and here's another one 28. Guess where this is? 28.71. So right here 28.72 actually. So that's the next area of resistance, and it didn't get quite that high. But if you look at the stock and you see it sort of, you know, topping, people are going to take profit because this thing went from 26.80 to 28.65, and then, you know, people took profit, and then it came back and tested VWAP. Now, what you can do, I didn't put it on my watch list tomorrow, but in theory, you can see how it would react to this 28.43 level and 28.65, and it can't break it tomorrow. You could short risk it off one of those levels, all right? That's the bounce short that you can do, all right? Now, if it breaks it, then you can go long, but there was no reason. I didn't find any news as to why this was up, so this shit should tank tomorrow, to be quite honest with you. So I'll keep a side eye on it, but it's not on my watch list. But that's all you do, guys. That's all I do. And what you should do as well is when you see a stock in a trend like this, like it's just riding a trend, you know, put a trend line. So that way you can track the trend. And once it breaks the trend, you can see that there it goes, you know, especially when it rides a trend like this, which is nuts, you know. So that's what happened. I got very lucky. The only reason why I covered was because my boss was walking towards me, and it happened to be right around when it tanked in this level here. This is a 5-minute chart. Right when it was you know, pulling back, and right before the spike, man. So it was actually right in here. So you know, right in here I covered, man. I got out like at 20. What is it? 28. 20, I'm sorry, 27, like 76. I think it was. Yeah, I got out fast. But if not, I would have held because I thought that this stock was going to you know break down. I didn't think it was gonna continue to run like this, which was nuts. So yeah, guys, those were the plays that I was talking about for today. And then so let's talk about tomorrow's watch list. And this is way longer than I wanted it to be. All right, so let's first start EVLV. This thing is up. It looks like, I don't know, probably some chat room spiked it. Let me pull up the actual. We'll do 5-day, 30-day, 5-minute chart. Now this is some dog shit company. And as you can see, it pre-market, it spiked all the way up to 137. You know, found support at 102 and did nothing all day. And then at the end of the day, it just spiked. Probably the shorts that were holding all day probably covered. So tomorrow, I'm just curious to see what is it gonna do. I'm looking to see how it reacts to this 125 level and 137 level. If it can, you know, I would love to see it at the open test this and get rejected and then take it short, risking off 137. Now, if it breaks above it, and you know, you always want to see, okay, what's the overhead resistance here? Now, this thing is going to come back down at some point. This is going to be an incredible short. And as you can see, this is a dog shit company that doesn't really move much. And it gives back whatever it gains. Now, in theory, if it does break above it, you got this right here, this 128. Sorry, let me, oops, that's not what I want to do. You got some overhead resistance here, a lot of overhead resistance. So you know, it would be hard for this stock to move. It would need some volume, at least in my interpretation. You know, but if it got above 128, in theory, you know, this thing could potentially get back up to 150. Or really, I don't think it gets back to 150. I think it actually gets to this 138, 139 level, and then because there's so much consolidation here, I think it's gonna get rejected and take it short. So I'm looking to short this tomorrow if I get a chance. I don't know. We'll see. There's so many plays. I don't know what I'm gonna wind up playing tomorrow. But you got a lot of overhead resistance, so it would be interesting to see tomorrow how this stock reacts. But that's what I'm looking to do. Now, you know, if let's say it broke down and it found support again at 102, for all you guys that don't like to short, you could potentially, if it held it, if it tested it and held it, then you can dip buy it here and see, you know, see what happens, you know, take it long. So that's what I'm looking for with this stock. Next up, Dare, you know, this is another shit company. Most of these penny stock companies are, that is up. It's in this channel. 144 hit a high, so you know it was at 81 cent yesterday. It hit a high of 144. It's pretty incredible. So you know what I would like to see do is, all right, is it gonna break 144 tomorrow? Now if it doesn't, you know, I would definitely let me fix this. I would definitely you know, take it short, risking 144. If it pulled back and bounced and held 108 or 109, it could, I'm sorry, 118 or 109, you could potentially dip by it in one of these two levels. All right, but I would like to short it as close to 144 as possible. You know, that would be my guess. But if it breaks 118 or 109, I think it gets back down below $1. Now the thing you just gotta be mindful of, now I don't know what the news is that this stock last year did, you know, it had this oh, that's weird, it says 0 here, but in this day, you know, it went from $4 to $11 on 3 million shares. So, you know, it got squeezed. Now, I don't think that's gonna happen. And on this day, it went from 3 to 640. So, I mean, this stock has squeezed before. You know, so you got to just keep that in mind. But I think, you know, I don't know if that's gonna happen tomorrow, but we'll see. The price action will tell us. So that's what I'm looking for in regards to Dare. Next is EBIO. EBIO has been on this crazy fucking tear. There's somebody that I watch, that I follow on Twitter. Her name is Miss Izzy. She's great with swing trades, and she's been talking about this stock since in the 60s, and she held this shit all the way up to $2. So salute to her. Now, this thing has been just on a run you know, you gotta expect that, you know, it's gonna have a big red day. Now, I don't know if tomorrow's that day, and if we look at the yearly, why don't let me zoom out? That's weird. Let's see. Maybe this stock is not okay. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom. That's weird. All right. So, you know, this is a stock that, you know, at least 4 years ago was up in this $14 level. And it's had a run before where it went from 25 cents to as high as $5 before it tanked. It got a lot of overhead resistance in this level. This is why in this 250, that's why you always got to look further back in time in this 250, 260 level, you know? So my guess tomorrow is, I think it's gonna, if it tests this 250, I think it's gonna get rejected and it's finally gonna go red. I don't know. Now, I have support and resistance levels mapped below. So there's consolidation here, this 226 level, this 210 level, this 198 level, this 179 level, and this 152 level. So in one of these levels, you could potentially dip by the stock if tomorrow is the first red day. You just gotta be mindful and watch the stock, and you could take it for a dip. You know, you could buy the dip. I would love to see it, you know, kind of test this and get rejected for a big wash. Because you gotta think people are gonna take profit unless, you know, the fundamentals are great on this company. I have no clue. Biotech production pipeline increases amid buzz of market optimism. I mean, I don't know anything about the company, to be quite honest with you, but you know, I play the charts, you know, so these are the areas that I'm looking to potentially dip by or go short, risking off of, you know. I really wouldn't want to short this. I'm either going to short it here at this risking 246 or 226. I wouldn't really short it anything below that. Anything below that I would look to dip by. That's just me. Next up, STNG. Now STNG, the only reason why this thing is on my watch list is because of the way the pattern is. So, you know, this thing has been just running, has a gap to fill below. It has some overhead resistance at 297. So, I mean, if it breaks 295, take it long, risking 275. Just know that at 297 level, let me pull up the big chart. There's 297 level if I pull up 1 year. You see how it has this consolidation? So you gotta think it may get rejected there. That would be a great short. Now, if it spiked and tested it, that would be fantastic to short off of, risking there. But we'll see. I mean, you know, 261 is also an area, you know, you gotta be mindful of. If it holds it, you can dip by it, risking 261, or short it, risking that level, or risking the high there, 275. And then you have some consolidation at 255. If it breaks this, then I think it gets back down at like 240. You know, easy short. Why not take it? You know, if you don't have no underhead support, I mean, you know, why not take the trade? So I like, you know, charts like this are easy to read. Next up is LC. LC. Oh, I put this on my watch list because this stock was down 15% today. So I'm just looking. You know how I do. So I'm just looking to see how it's gonna react tomorrow. Is it gonna spike and get rejected? If it gets rejected at 292, I'll short risking off 292. Or if it gets back up to 310 and and it can't break it, I'll short it risking off 310. That's it. I mean, if it broke 292, yeah, you could take it long. You know, risking 310. You know, it's up to you. It's not a lot of sense, but you know, a win's a win. Take it if you can. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. It's down, and I'm looking to short into a rejection of resistance. That's all. You know, and you know, I'm not, you know, and I just put these stocks to watch. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily gonna play them. IPI. This is one of these stocks that when it runs, and when it tanks, it tanks. So you know, today it went from 378 to 488. All right, and let's pull up the big chart. So let's see where it's been over the year. You know, this is a stock that has some resistance here at 464, some resistance here at 481, and really, you know, then you're gonna see 510, 512. So let's pull up this chart, the 30-day chart. You know, it's like kind of consolidating here. So what I would like to see is if it breaks 488, you could take it long, risking 488. You know, just be mindful of $5, how it reacts to $5, and then, you know, 512 is the yearly high, so, you know, it may get rejected there if it gets back up there. But, you know, my guess tomorrow is that I would think that it's gonna tank, but we'll see. You know me, I love to short. I prefer shorting, but I go long too. You guys seen I caught out plenty of long plays, but you know, I prefer shorting. It's just my thing. You know, so you also have some areas of consolidation here at 464, 455, and 437 to potentially buy dips. All right, or you can short, risking off one of these other levels, risking the previous level or the higher day. Okay, that's what I'm looking at for tomorrow. All right. So next up is TZOO Travel Zoo, which I love Travel Zoo, but I would short Travel Zoo if the opportunity presents itself. Now I think Travel Zoo will be a great short because it has this gap to fill below at $7. So I would love to short this if I can. I don't know if E-Trade will have shares. We'll find out tomorrow. But you know, it went from 7 to 10, 45. But it's already given some back. It's holding this 9, you know, sort of 50 level. All right. And, you know, what I want to see tomorrow happen is it attempt $10 or 1044 to take it short, risking off one of those rejections. Oh, but if it breaks above these, you know, you can take it long. Now, what you want to do is see, okay, what has it done over the last year? You know, if you look over the last year, this stock has not had a big day like this. So what does it tell me? That, you know, it does have this gap to fill. Look, it literally filled the gap right here. So and it got rejected. So that tells me that you know, that it's probably gonna just tank tomorrow. So if you can find shares, short it. Now the problem is this stock only is a low float, 12 million shares. So I don't know if E-Trade will have shares. I hope so, because this to me will be a big winner going short tomorrow. But we'll see. All right, next up is I is crazy, man. This thing just doesn't want to die. It just keeps running forever and ever. Look at this. This is insane. And this is an example of why RSI is bullshit. Because this is probably like, on the RSI, it's probably like 90 something. It's probably been like 90 something forever. Like, let me put RSI. I'm just curious. RSI. Apply. Yeah, look at this shit. On the RSI, this thing has been in the 90s forever. All right, so it's been in the set above 70 since back in April 9th. All right, you know, RSI doesn't guarantee you nothing, man. All right, these people are just buying. This shit is totally manipulated. But tomorrow, what you can do is, all right, you can watch the stock to see. All right, I would look to see how it reacts to 1030, 1063, and 1093. If, you know, you could go short, risking off one of those levels as it gets rejected. Now, basically, what this stock every time what happens is when this stock didn't go red today, but if it goes red, it's probably gonna find some support below and then bounce and then go green again, and you could take it red to green. Red to green meaning when it breaks above the previous day's close price. Let me zoom out and give you a bigger time frame. I got all these levels mapped below. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can potentially buy dips in these levels below. So, you know, $10 is a level I would look at. 945 because there's a lot of consolidation here. Let me zoom out a little bit. You also have some consolidation here at this 890 level, 827 level, and this is a big 788 will be a big when it gets back there. We'll see how it reacts. But these levels below are levels that you could potentially dip by the stock, because that's what it seems to happen. It goes red and then it bounces. Look at this day. It went to 788 and just freaking ripped. Every time the stock goes red on the day, it goes green. Goes red, goes green. Red, then green. I mean, it just does it every day. So I don't know when it's going to stop. But, you know, if it gets rejected into one of these levels, then it'd be great to go short. All right, so just keep that in mind. If it breaks 1093, it breaks 11, who knows? Maybe it just keeps going. We'll see. I seen the stock Ren go from $2 to $50, so anything's possible. Next up, CHEK. Now, this would have been the stock that I would have shorted, but E-Trade didn't have no shares, and there's a lot of conflict. I'm getting a lot of conflicting information from people, whether or not there were shares available. You know, with Centerpoint. Some people telling me no, some people telling me yes. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, I know E-Trade didn't have shares. But this would have been my number one play today because this is dog shit. I mean, it had to give back. Now tomorrow, this is that first red day after first day after red day strategy that I love on stocks like this. A stock that goes from 3 to 20. You know, it's a piece of shit and it's gonna give it back. I'm not going to be able to short this, though, because there's no shares. That's the downside of shorting. You're not always able to find shares. Even if you have the best broker on earth, it doesn't matter. Centerpoint doesn't always have shares. Now, the key tomorrow would be to see it spike at the open and get rejected into one of these key levels or above where there's consolidation to go short. Test it tomorrow. Paper trade it and see what happens. So, these are my levels, 1788. And you can map the higher day, too. Oops. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. But oops. You know what I mean. So 78. So in theory, what I would love to see a dog shit stock like this do is, we have some consolidation here, 1788. That's the previous day's high. 1599 right here, as you notice. Okay, 1420, some consolidation here. There's some more consolidation here, 1344 level, at this 1201 level, 1070, and 995. I would love to see it spike and get rejected into one of these levels. Now you're saying, hey Omar, can I potentially buy the break above? Like, yeah, you could, but you got to be careful. This is a low floater, moves. You don't want to get caught. To me, I tell people stay away. But you could, if it broke above, let's say 1344. And you had volume, you could take it risking that 1420. I'm sorry, with your price target of 1420. Just be careful. And this, use a hard stop because the drops happen so fast that you got to protect yourself. So just keep that in mind. But this would be tomorrow the setup that I would go like 5, 10, 15, 20,000 shares if I could. So I've done that 10,000 share positions and bigger and made a ton of money. But, I'm not going to be able to do that with CHEK. But you could potentially look to dip buy it. Like, if it as well, like, let's say it just, gaps up. Let's say it tests 1420 and then tanks. And then, like, let's say it gets to, like, 1070 and it holds. You can dip buy it there, because shorts will cover if they see a clear support level and it's not breaking below. And you can ride it fast. Get in and out quick. So that's something to think about, too. All right, next up, ACAD. Now, tomorrow, this is my number one stock on watch. This is probably the one that I'm going to be looking to play. Why? Because it went from 20 to 14. It's easy to borrow. And I called it out on Twitter real fast. Somebody put me onto it. I wasn't even, I didn't even know about the stock. And somebody told me about it. And look what I wrote. ACAD can get back to 1610. That is where I think a potential rejection happens, and you can go short risking off that level, or 1573 level if it can't break, or 1573 if it can't break that level. All right, that's what I wrote. Right before this happened, look what happened. Why did I say that? Okay, I said that simple support and resistance. So I looked at the stock. I mapped. I said, okay, where is it bouncing and holding shit? I mapped all this, so it's gonna make it hard for you guys to see. Damn. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so right, if you notice, it got to 1860, gapped up, broke down. Got to 1791, gapped up, broke down. Got to 1767, gapped up, broke down. Got to and technically you can map this. I didn't. It got down all the way to 1673, gapped up, broke down. Got to this candle here, which is 1633. All right, gapped up, broke down. Got to 1610. So that's why I said 1610, because the stock was all the way, down here, gapping up when I saw that. So that's why I said 1610, because look where it hit. It hit 1610, bounced off it, and continued downward. Then what's the next big level down? Look at this, 1573. Look at that candle. It touched that, and it kind of gapped up a little bit, even though it's finished red, and then continued down. So let's see how it reacted when it got to 1573. When it got to 1573 here, it got to a high of 1575, but you see it couldn't hold above. That candle never finished above 1573. Look what happened. Got rejected, came back down to 1539. So if had you listened to me here and took it short, you could have banked. Even a 1,000 shares would have got you what? 60, 70, what? 60, 50, 40, 30, $400 on a simple 1,000 shares. Gapped up, look, couldn't hold it again. Got down all the way to 1511. Okay? Could have reshorted. Alright? Okay? And made another killing there. Look at this. Found its support there. Gapped up. Again couldn't hold it. Tanked. Got back down to 1523. Then eventually you got all this volume. Because you need this, and this candle had 220,000 shares, so you need at least that to break it, to move higher. And in this, it broke it because you got the 152,000 shares, and you had the 261,000 shares, and then 300,000 shares. That's why it broke above it, because you got so much volume, broke above. But look what happened when it got to the 1610 level. Couldn't hold it. And then let's see what proceeded to happen after that. The fucking thing tanked. So had you listened to me and just played this in that last 20 minutes, you could have made thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, depending on your brokerage and how much money you have in it. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I do is play trade support and resistance. Don't listen to these guys that are giving you all this bullshit. You don't need chat rooms to learn this shit, guys. Look, I'm just doing this straight like that. No, you don't need a chat room or a guru to tell you this shit. That's it. That's all it is. And then I got two other stocks here, LR. And anyway, tomorrow, I'm sorry. I'm trying to finish this because I just want to rest. But tomorrow, what I'm looking to see is, I'm looking to see this spike, and I'm going to short it again into one of these rejections. And you know what? It's going to take a lot of volume for it to break above 1610. I don't know if it will, but I'm going to look to see how it reacts to these levels above, and I'm going to potentially short, risking off one of these levels because it went from 20 to 14. It's not more than, I doubt it's going to get back to 20. Anything's possible. That's why I always say doubt, but the probability that it gets back up to 20 is minimal. So I'm looking to short it based off one of those levels. All right, and that's it. That's what I'm trading, guys. So I'm looking at these key levels to potentially go short. Now you're gonna say, well, Mark, what if it broke above 1573? Can I go long, risking and look with a price target of 1610? Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Look to see how it reacts to 1610 because it's gonna need a lot of volume to break above it. That 1610 candle has, it doesn't have a, let's see, where is it, 1610? It had 163,000 shares, and then because it was two candles, and then this candle here was 160,000 shares. So, if it's holding 1610 and you see that candle above is like over 160,000 shares, that more than likely is going to continue higher. But you got a lot of overhead resistance, so be careful, all right? But me, I'll be looking to short, risking off that. And you can do that with any stock. You can go to this change losers, biggest percentage losers, and you can just build your list off these and just do that all day, honestly. All right, so just to finish off strong, LRN, I'm looking at this just because of, if we go real quickly, it's in this channel. It's from $13.80 to $15. It has a gap to fill below. It should fill the gap. So I'm looking to see how it reacts. All right, is it going to gap up at the market open and test 1573 or 1593? And if it does, I could potentially take a short, risking off one of those levels. Or as it breaks down 1517, more like this thing's going to tank and get back to the $13 level. So, I'll create my alerts. I haven't created my alerts for these. I'll do that. At least I'll put that one just to remind me. And that's what I'm looking with LRN. And then last but not least, VICR is up a lot too. It's this stock went from $16 to $37, which is sick move. I don't know anything about the company, but I will be looking to see how it reacts to 37.45. Now, you can look at the yearly and see maybe, this thing is so overextended that it's so due. Look how far it is away from the 50 moving average. It's gonna get back down there. So once you catch the backside of this, oh my God, the short is gonna be so lovely. So, waiting for that first red day. Maybe it's tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how it reacts, But I'll be looking to see how it reacts to 37.45, 35.40, and 33.47. All right, folks. So that's what I'm looking at tomorrow. Obviously, there probably other plays. Do your own due diligence. Maybe better plays. But I don't have the time to sit here and look all day and night for stocks. To me, the number one stock that I'm looking at tomorrow is ACAD. I love Tizu tomorrow, and let's see what happens with that. All right, folks. So have a great evening. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.